Hey, everybody. This is Everyman's 40K channel, and welcome. I am Everyman, your host. In front of you here, we have a Cerastus Knight Lancer. It has already been built, obviously, because it's in front of you here, built. But I was not able to put together a multi-part how-to video for you guys to actually see how it got constructed and what I did to make it kind of my own and unique. That's what we do on this channel, right? How we make our own miniatures unique to ourselves, our play style, our aesthetic. In addition to that, trying to save you guys money. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this model and I'm going to deconstruct how I built it and go through the process. First, we're going to start with the base because the base is actually complete and painted. As you can see, it has been clear coated, ready to go. I did that separately from the actual top piece or top model because I wanted to be able to paint the base, prime the model off the base, dry brush the top big model off the base, and then do some other kind of little washes and things without really affecting the lower part of the base and getting the lower part of the base dirty. So what I'm able to do now is I'm able to, because the lower base has been clear coated, at this stage I am able to actually mount and glue the legs and the knight onto the base solidly. So at this point though, it's only temped. I got a pin in this toe here, and I got a pin in this back foot over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate this. I'm going to go through the lower half or the base plate. And I'm going to show you and tell you everything I did to this. And then we're going to bring in the top model, and I'm going to go ahead and explain everything that I did to that top model. So give me a second. Let me just pull this apart, and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. So the first thing I did is I took a dreadnought that I had and I split them at the hip. I got lucky because it was assembled and the glue, just by kind of, forcing it, the glue did snap off cleanly. So I separated them at the hip. Then I sanded at an angle the back portion of the twin las cannon right here, as you can see, right under that exhaust port, and then down inside there. So that has all been kind of sanded at an angle. That in combination with putting a hole in the bottom of the base. So all this black area here is the base. This here is the actual material I used. It's a sanded top. And this, once glued with Elmer's super glue or Elmer's glue, it ended up kind of being like concrete. Well, what that allowed me to do is it allowed me to bury him down kind of deep, and kind of gives you an illusion as though that rocky area, or where he ended up, his resting spot, it's actually deeper than what this base is. So on the table, it's kind of got this kind of like the impression or the optical illusion is that he's deeper, or like buried down deep into the dirt from the pressure of the knight kicking him into the dirt. I had to place him all the way to the end of the base because the Cerastus knight is quite a bit bigger miniature wise than a standard knight. And this is a standard 170 millimeter base. I had to extend the base slightly by about a ½ inch. Not much. And then I had to do kind of a half moon on the rocks to get even more kind of area where I can tuck him in to get him out to this corner of the base. As you can see here, that's where I'm going to glue him. Once I glue the knight in, that's where he's pinned here. That's where he's pinned there at the end of the base. I bent this at the foot, this kind of bent at the foot, so it kind of looks disfigured. I broke off his lower leg plate or his leg armor, kind of got it off to the side, went ahead, drilled and incorporated his pipes, his hydraulic lines, hoses, electrical lines, then painted the face. Okay, and then the last part, as you guys have seen, I got missiles. So the missiles, okay, those are Q-tips, or excuse me, not Q-tips, toothpicks. So wooden toothpicks that I cut to a 1/2 inch, painted, then cut poster board, made the little missiles, shaped the nose so that the nose had a very similar shape to the missiles that are left in the rack, right? So you can see the detail. The wires that are there, those wires are from twist ties. So sort of the little twist ties that you would use to kind of close up a bread bag or something, you know, basically just twist ties. I don't have anything here. I don't know what else to call them. You just gotta, you gotta know what a twist tie is, I guess. So these wires are really flexible and really flimsy. They are not tempered, so they bend pretty easily. Then these are cotton swabs or Q-tips. Now the last part I want to show you is that after he's been painted, that face, within the dreadnought lore or within the mechanics of how a dreadnought is built and how a space marine is put in to a dreadnought in the sarcophagus, they are encased or held in an amniotic sac. So after this was painted, I'm going to turn it so you can see and let the light catch it. After his face was painted, I went ahead and I covered his head with a plastic sack or plastic wrap. See, so right there you can see. So he actually has clear plastic wrap over his face after I painted it. Then I took, you can see in there, that kind of greenish red, that's kind of like a pus, kind of, you know, the fluid that's in the sack. So if you were to see this in person, super high detail and some pretty cool stuff done to it. Sorry, I keep saying that. Last part is down inside, down deep, okay? That's his hydraulic fluid. So again, just as much detail as you can add to your miniatures, as much imagination as you can throw in there. You see the fluid coming out of him from his busted half, and then again coming out. Dark red or kind of greenish inside, or not greenish, dark red, then kind of fading out like it's kind of oil coming out. But that's it. You can see the wear marks, battle scars, scuff marks. But that is just the base, and the base is complete. So I'm going to put this aside, and then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the big boy in and start talking about him. 1 second. Okay, so here's the big boy. As you can see, he's got a pin there, and he's got a pin there. That's the pin that goes to the dreadnought. That's the pin that goes to the base. He's got the standard shield. And then over here, he's got his lance. He's able to articulate at the hip. The lance is pinned I'll take this off. So the lance has been pinned. His shield arm has been pinned. So I can pull it off. In addition to that, I have a second pin at the elbow, or maybe this is the wrist, but there's a second pin, as you can see right there. And that's to change the configuration. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean by changing the configuration. Let me show you here. So that is the lance side of the body. I added those after the fact because this knight can also be a castigator, and I'll show you why those little tubes and those little pieces are there. The front, his head articulates back and forth because I pinned it. Pinned it right back under there. These two plates come off because I pinned these two plates, so I can actually take these off to paint underneath here when it's time to paint. These two components, these tusks, these are from old Fantasy Battle Warhammer. These are, what do you call them? Chaos Knight lances. So this is a lance off of one Chaos Knight. This is another lance off of another Chaos Knight. Old school, metal. These are old metal lances from around around 2003. These little purple things up top, this is milliput. And if you guys have seen the Chaos Megara video, please, if you haven't, please go check it out because I'll show you how to do a little sculpting there. Basically, what these are just little growths. And each one of these is just a little milliput that I did and put it on there like that. Very simple. Again, up here, going to the top, got two Chaos Knight heads, or what do you call it? War Dog heads, or armature. This is an old Chaos miniature I had laying around, so I took a piece off of that. Again, another Chaos Warhammer miniature I had. I borrowed that. Just like on my Megara, if you guys look at here, I did some chain work. Again, please go check out that Megara video. That's a total 3-part how-to build video. Took an old skeleton, basically crucified him with no arms, and got him hanging. And then this is real cloth in the back. So that is a real piece of cloth as a banner that I'm going to go ahead and paint up behind that skeleton. So now let me show you the second configuration. This is a 3D printed castigator sword. So this castigator sword, it can pin right in the same spot. Right there. And I had my buddy, again, 3D print this. The same person who printed up the legs for my Megara that made it a centaur. Same person. Hooked me up again. Now, here's the part where I said it was pinned, double pinned. This part here pinned at the wrist as we discussed. Right? So this pin comes out. I reclaim this knuckle or this joint. I bring in a 3D printed castigator gun. Drop that in here. Take my pin and pin it. Now, as you can see, those are the wires. So I turned what was supposed to be a kinetic weapon, I turned it into an energy weapon. And here is the Castigator 3D printed kinetic belt, the regular bullets. And then this is the back where this is supposed to plug in like that and go into the gun. Well, from Forge World, the Cerastus Knight Lancer, okay, that's the one I bought from Forge World. It comes with this in the back. So it doesn't have the location, the proper location for this to bolt up or to snap into. So if I wanted to do that, I would have had to do a lot of carving on this, or I would have had to do a lot of carving on the back of this, and I didn't want to ruin this, and I didn't want to do as much work with this. So I said, okay, forget it. Let's make it an energy weapon. So now check this out. So this goes into here. So we'll plug this in. And then we come back here. We take this. Well, first we go here. That plugs into that hole. This one. Let me show you. It plugs into this hole. Like that. This pipe or this tube comes right here. Plugs into this one. Just like that. Right? So far we have 1, 2, and 3 plugged in. And then the last one, this larger one, plugs in right here. That one's pretty tight there. Let me get this last one plugged in. Okay, so right there, you see all those plugged in? And then you can look at it from the front. Check that out. So now we put this all back together, and I'll come back for the final wrap up. Okay, everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, I just wanted to pop in here, kind of show you this one, show you that, hey, I jammed this together. I'm always working on something. So if you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you can know what I'm posting or know when I post to YouTube the next time. But like we always say on the channel, everybody, may all your dice rolls come up 6s unless you're looking for a 1. Peace out.